Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to another recruiting update video. We've got some major stories we're going to be following as it relates to Ohio State 2023 recruiting this weekend. I'm expecting Ohio State to land possibly 2 5-star receivers in what could be a dual commitment video. Brandon Inniss and Carnell Tate, two of the top receivers in the 2023 class, very likely will be ending their recruitment soon, and both of them will be Buckeyes. Firstly, on Inniss, he's actually visiting on Friday, June 17th, so that's in a few days. He will be visiting Columbus, I believe, with his family. And Carnell Tate is a guy that's been rumored to have already made his commitment video. Both of these guys could be announcing the same day, the same time, maybe one day apart. But either way, Brandon Inniss and Carnell Tate will both be Ohio State Buckeyes. You know, Inniss is a guy that they've got him at 71% chance right now. It's really 100% chance reading the tea leaves and you know, you listen to people and what they have to say. This recruitment is over. The Carnell Tate recruitment, which was fun for a little while. I don't know if we want to go to... just go to player rankings and see. I think it still says Carnell Tate is, or excuse me, Tennessee is the leader. It still has Tennessee at 51% chance for Carnell Tate. I hope their fan base doesn't think they're getting him. I really do. I angered Tennessee fans a few weeks ago with a video I made. I titled it "Tennessee is Getting Desperate" because I personally, this is actually what I think happened. I think Carnell Tate probably told them thanks, but no thanks. And they basically had a free $3 million that they were going to give Tate to go there. That's the only reason Tate was even considering Tennessee, because they were going to give him a massive NIL deal. And then they said, you know what, we'll just turn around and we'll offer it to Bradley. We'll just offer it to Bradley. And now the timeline, this is exactly what I expected to happen. Carnell Tate turns down Tennessee. Tennessee now has a free, $3 million that they were going to use to get Carnell Tate. They go ahead and say, you know what? We'll just give Carnell Tate's money to Bradley. Imagine if Carnell Tate commits to Ohio State and then this pass rusher commits to Tennessee and then he gets like a $3 million NIL deal. That's exactly what's going to happen. Tennessee fans were in denial. They were angry at me. I have nothing against Tennessee, but it's just funny. So the Carnell Tate thing, it came down to development with Brian Hartline versus money, and he's choosing development along with Brandon Inniss. Going back to the Buckeyes guys, the people who are visiting, the other guy that's very interesting, Noah Rogers. Noah Rogers is a receiver I love. I think Noah Rogers is the best receiver in the class of 2023. The issue is if Inniss and Tate both commit very soon, Noah Rogers is going to be like, you got to be freaking kidding me. I mean, do you really want to be the number 3 wide receiver in the class? I don't know. I mean, right now, Ohio State is certainly in the driver's seat for him. But it would be interesting if both Inniss and Carnell Tate committed to Ohio State if he said, you know what? Why be the number 3 receiver at Ohio State when I can be the number 1 receiver at Clemson, for example, or something like that? I don't think he's going to go to NC State. He is from North Carolina, but it'll be interesting. He's also visiting, and he's a guy that, I would say he's on commit watch. Everyone says he's a lock to Ohio State. The only way I could see him not going to Ohio State is if both Carnell Tate and Brandon Inniss commit to Ohio State very soon. I mean, those are 2 5-star receivers. Do you really want to be in a class with those guys? Maybe he does. I don't know. Either way, Brian Hartline is just ridiculous. Ohio State also leads for basically the top 2 receivers in 2024, JoJo Trader and Jeremiah Smith. Brian Hartline is just picking guys at this point. He's picking guys. He is picking guys. Let's look at the... there's actually supposed to be a massive recruiting weekend for Ohio State, June 24th. Oh, it's Caleb Downs' official visit. Ohio State is in it for Caleb Downs. They're really not in it for Justice Haynes, but... the running back is what I'm really concerned about. Oh, what options do they have at running back at this point? If Richard Young already told them he's not visiting, they're not getting Cedric Baxter. You got to try and get back in on Haynes. I don't see it. I think he's very clearly going to Georgia. Right now, 96% chance. Jason Moore, that'll be an interesting recruit to track. I don't really agree with Notre Dame being the absolute favorite in that recruitment. Vic Burley just committed to Clemson. I believe he canceled his visit. That was a great get. Yeah, he just committed today to Clemson. Christian Gray, he's very likely going to Notre Dame. John Walker, that'll be a big visit. Tackett Curtis, that should lock him down. You know, he's a solid linebacker, even though he's fallen a little bit. Darren Reed, it's looking like LSU is trending for Reed, unfortunately. Flores, I doubt would even visit. I mean, we're not going to take him. He's going to go to Notre Dame. Ohio State's not taking him. But so there's some big visits coming up. But the key thing to know with Ohio State, Brandon Inniss, Carnell Tate, they're both on commitment watch. Ohio State beats out Tennessee. You got to feel bad for Tennessee. You really do. You got to feel bad. Tennessee offers Carnell Tate $3 million, and he says, you know what? I don't want any money. I'll just go to Ohio State and get developed into a first-round pick. Oh, I feel so bad for Tennessee. Maybe they'll get Bradley now. They can just use the money to get Bradley. But when it comes to this, there you guys can see the big story. Vic Burley, that's a great get for them. The one thing I wanted to look at is the overall recent commitments, and I wanted to point out two programs. I've already talked about one of them, but the other program I really wanted to talk about, Michigan State. Mel Tucker is recruiting at a level I don't think Mark D'Antoni ever reached. He is getting solid 4-star commits. He picked up 2 solid 4-stars within the past few days. He's doing a great job, and they have a great class when you look at it. The Michigan State class, solid 4 stars. This is really good for Michigan State. It may not seem great because there's no top 100 guys, but this is a good class. Pulling the number 2 player out of Iowa. You've got a solid 4-star linebacker from the state of Florida. You're getting a 4-star solid cornerback from Texas. You know, there's guys from all over the place that are 4-stars. This is a really good job by Mel Tucker. Right now, there are 2 teams in the class of 2023 that are recruiting, you know, like they've never recruited in at least the past decade. And it's Michigan State and Mel Tucker and Notre Dame and Marcus Freeman. Notre Dame continues to just recruit amazingly. If we go back to the homepage, and then I want to look at the crystal balls. Okay, so here's an interesting little development. Nathaniel Joseph, who recently decommitted from Clemson, has been crystal balled to Miami. So he is kind of a fringe top 100 receiver from, I believe, Miami, Florida. He's definitely from Florida. I don't know if he's from Miami in specific, but that is an interesting development to watch. Oh, here's another one. Kaden Green. That's a big elite. Well, I don't know if he's elite, but he's a legit offensive tackle, and he's 6'5", 310. He's a top 100 player, getting crystal ball to Oklahoma. I think he has a top 2 of Nebraska and Oklahoma, and that would be it. Yeah, so Oklahoma's picking up some crystal balls. They are trending in his recruitment. We've got a 3-star quarterback, Danny O'Neal, getting a crystal ball to Kentucky. Good for them. They're stacking up a 3-star recruits. Kaden Green gets another one to Oklahoma with a 7 confidence score. It looks like he's trending there significantly. Rico Flores, I've discussed him. Basically, Ohio State said thanks, but no thanks, Rico. We're taking Inniss and Tate. And then we'll see if they can also get, again, with Ohio State, it'll be really interesting to see if they're also able. This is a major recruiting weekend, the 25th. This is the 24th, yeah. Caleb Downs, man. I don't see it. I see Caleb Downs going to Georgia, but it's a possibility. Jason Moore is another guy that's interesting to watch in this group of people. But, yeah, so we will see what happens with Ohio State and with these 2 5-star receivers, and then also with a high 4-star receiver who I think has the ability to be a 5-star receiver, Noah Rogers. If Brandon Inniss and Carnell Tate make a dual commitment video or commit on the same day, does that scare off Noah Rogers? Does Noah Rogers say, I'm not going to be the number 3 receiver. Ohio, I'm never going to see the field. Ohio State's also in on 2, extremely elite top 20, players in 2024 that are both receivers. So I don't know what Noah Rogers will decide to do. But Brandon Inniss, who's a clear 5-star top 20 player, and Carnell Tate, who's another 5-star top 3 or 4 receiver in the nation, both trending heavily to Ohio State, both on the verge of committing, I would say, by Sunday. I just don't know. Does Inniss want to film his commitment video maybe when he gets back because he's visiting Ohio State on Friday? Does he maybe want to wait until he gets back home to film his commitment video? That'll be the key thing to watch. But Ohio State wins out. Adding both Inniss and Carnell Tate will bring Ohio State, I believe, to the #2 class in the nation. It'll bump up their average to, you know what, we can actually just look at it right now. If you go to, whoops, I clicked on the wrong thing, which is just great. So we go to overall rankings right now. Ohio State sitting at #8. If they add the receivers, they would probably move up to like, I'd say 230 total points. So they would be second with 12 commits at that point and 2 5-stars, 9 4-stars, and 1 3-star. And their average would probably move up to like 93.70, I'd say. So this is a major boost if Ohio State is able to land both Carnell Tate and Brandon Inniss. And all the tea leaves right now are pointing to both of these recruitments ending within the extremely near future. Again, the rumor is Carnell Tate is in the process or already has filmed his little commitment video, and you've got Inniss, who's been rumored to be a massive Ohio State lean. Especially within the past few weeks, we've really heard that Inniss is definitely coming to Ohio State. You look at their composite rankings, which are a combination of everything. You guys can see where the receivers are ranked. So Brandon Inniss is currently ranked, he's currently ranked number 18 in the country, the #2 overall receiver, and then Carnell Tate is currently the 28th overall player. The only reason Carnell Tate is ranked 28th is because ESPN inexplicably somehow has him outside of their top 100. Horrible recruiting network that is, but that's why he's kind of bumped down a little bit. If ESPN had him, where he should properly be ranked, he'd probably be a top 10 prospect in the composite. But when they have him outside of their top 100, that's going to bump him down significantly. But the crystal ball actually has Ohio State 100% chance, which kind of surprises me. I mean, people were obsessed with Tennessee because they offered him 7 figures. I feel bad for Tennessee. I really do. I feel bad for their fan base. But you know what? Just go after Bradley. Use the money to go after Bradley. That's what they're doing. They offered Carnell Tate 7 figures. He said, you know what? I'm going to Ohio State. So instead of, using the money to get Carnell Tate, give it to Bradley. And they've got an 80% chance. This is going to work out so funny if they do get him. Oh, my God. Glorious. Glorious. But, guys, the major story this weekend, there's actually a lot of recruits visiting different campuses. This is like the best time to follow recruiting because there's just so much news. Like during the season, there's no recruiting news because coaches are focused on the season and stuff. But like these type of weekends in June and July, I mean, there's just going to be so much recruiting news. And the goal for Ohio State is to really headline the news by getting both of the 5-star receivers and really jump-starting the class of 2023. We'll see if they're able to do it. I expect them to do it. I don't know if it's going to be a dual commitment. Maybe these kids will plan it together. We'll see. Either way, it's a major expectation. And guys, just another quick thing. Like, you see how this is like clear and then there's the drop-down menu right here? It's because there's supposed to be ads right here, but I have ad blocker on. It's one of the stupidest things. Like, I don't know, man. I know these sites, they have to, like, make money, but it's so stupid. Like, it looks so tacky. It's just a clear thing because I've blocked an ad, and that's why it's a clear space in between their drop-down menu. It's so stupid. But either way, also, I heard another thing that, it was Peter Woods. So Peter Woods is committing, I believe, on July 5th, I want to say, and he's going to Alabama. So he's going to be committing to Alabama. That'll be another pickup for them. That is an in-state defensive line 5-star who will be going to Bama. So Bama's class is really starting to get going. They're starting to get momentum. I know they just hosted Arch Manning. I still expect him to go to either Georgia or Texas. And they also hosted this offensive tackle, who's the #1 offensive tackle in the nation. And it wouldn't shock me at all if they landed him or Kaden Proctor. Funny note on Kaden Proctor. This video is going to be way too long, but Kaden Proctor actually visited Arkansas State. I think it's because he knows one of the coaches, but it's just so funny. So it looks like Kaden Proctor's top 2 is Alabama and Iowa. I didn't know that. Is that his final 2? I didn't think he had a final 2, but maybe they're the only ones listed as warm. But this video has gone on long enough, guys. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.